What started out as a commitment to the community really on a personal level really has become a corporate philosophy. I think it started with my grandfather. My grandfather came to this country with nothing. He prospered, he did very well, and he felt he owed a lot to the community and to the country. And I think that that was instilled in all of his kids, in my father and in Albert. And it was passed on to me. It's something that Cindy and I pass on to our daughter. And while it is personal, it also has become a corporate philosophy. We're very fortunate that we've got a very active group of coworkers. Part of it is that we are very vocal about the fact that this is the one organization that's so well run, takes care of so many needs of the community. I think our excitement makes a difference, but I think the biggest difference is in every location we have our coworkers take a bus ride, and they take a day and they visit the organizations, the member organizations. And they come back and they report to their peers. Because for me to say something is one thing, but for their peers to tell them what they saw and how it moved them makes a heck of a lot of difference. And that's something we want to continue to do year after year.
They get to see firsthand, where their dollars are going. They get to meet the kids of the Olivet Boys and Girls Club. They get to see the homeless men and women that are staying at the Opportunity House. They get to see the children that are receiving therapies from the Easter Seals. And that just really resonates with them, I believe, so they can feel like their United Way dollars are, going towards a great purpose. We all take a trip up to Hamburg to the Olivet Boys and Girls Club Blue Mountain Camp. We team up with Carpenter and United Way, and we provide the Arts and Crafts Pavilion. The Olivet Boys and Girls Club kids come to our Arts and Crafts Pavilion. We get to interact with them all throughout the day. Really, so the kids are just so great. They address us as ma'am, sir, they say please and thank you. They often tell us, that this is their favorite day of the whole year. So it's just really great to get to interact with them on that level.
The impact of food insecurity in the community is widespread, from affecting the brain development of children to the stress level and the family dynamics that people have as they're trying to figure out whether they pay for rent, for their utility bills, or for food. So New Journey Community Outreach received one-time type of support from us this past year. They're the largest soup kitchen in the city of Reading. In addition to the daily meals, they serve a weekly food pantry where they serve over 200 families with basic essentials for them to be able to have food for that week.
The United Way knows what's going on in this community. They have the pulse of the needs in the community. We have our food pantry, which serves families, many of whom are having working parents. The funding that they receive, or the wages that they receive, are just not enough to support the medical bills, the utility bills, and the food as well. They may receive food stamps, but it's not enough to carry them through the month. So our food pantry helps those families to have a more sustainable food source. The soup kitchen is serving a different group of people in our community who are also in need. Many of them are homeless, and they come to us on a regular basis for their lunch. Some of them have either physical or mental challenges, and they just don't have the support system that so many of us have when we are in crises or we are in dire need. We serve an average of 150 lunches a day here at New Journey, sometimes 180. And that's quite a number.
One of the other funding streams that United Way provides is called the Venture Grant. This year we were able to award 3 agencies with funding via the Venture Grant to be able to address the food insecurity issue throughout the county. The first was Community Prevention Partnership, with a program where they actually go into homes and provide one-on-one coaching for parents. They're infusing those classes with food nutrition courses for young parents. Another agency is Berks. They were provided funding to be able to provide fresh food to folks, especially in the outskirts of our community, in some of the more rural areas of our community. And the third agency that was provided funding is Salvation Army. Salvation Army was provided funding in order to be able to support their work with their monthly food distribution. They serve over 300 families per month via that food distribution.
My involvement with the United Way started when I was in college. I worked at UGI when I was working on my associate degree here locally, and they really nurtured me from the very beginning that every dollar counts. And so I started with the payroll deduction, which is very simple, very easy, back in the late 70s, and just continued that process when I moved to the city of Reading, which I retired after 30 years. And as an employee, I was involved in many of their campaigns. And when I retired, I thought, wow, what can I do to continue to give back to my community as a lifelong resident of Reading? So I thought that being a board member, we talked about what can we do for an initiative for the community, and Ready, Set, Read was one of them. So I really enjoy my volunteer opportunity at 10th and Penn Elementary School. I believe this is my 4th year. My schedule opened up during my retirement, and I've been able to volunteer as a loan campaign specialist, and I can really see our community in action with United Way dollars. The reason I put United Way in my will, because I have a strong belief that service to my community is my rent that I pay for being on the planet. I have a responsibility, a core belief, to share my time, my talent, and my treasure. And putting United Way in my will helps the future generations. It's easy, it's quick, it's painless. By supporting United Way in my will, we are all united for the future.
I loved being part of the Big Cheese. I forget how many tables we had, but we had a lot of people both days, and we worked like beavers. Although we were dressed as mice, we had a nice little bow tie and mouse ears, and what I learned more than anything was that I should not wear a hairnet to work. The employees who participated in the Big Cheese loved it, and I think all of us felt a sense of teamwork and excitement.
I think the work the United Way does is very important to the community because we need to support people who need a little assistance. My family went through a couple of rough patches when I was growing up, and it was helpful to know that there was someone there who could help us, and I want to be able to do that for the community as well. I heard about ELU from some people I met, and they told me that people in ELU like to volunteer. And for me, that was really helpful because I had moved back to the area only about 6 months before, and I really love volunteering. I consider myself a lifelong volunteer. So it was nice to meet people who had similar interests to me. Well, personally, it's been great. I've met some really great people. Some of them I consider to be my friends now as well, just inside and outside of ELU. And professionally, it's a great networking opportunity.
I will describe Blueprint for Leadership as a program that helps individuals become more involved in their community. Blueprint allows individuals to understand what's needed to be an effective board member or a committee member of nonprofit agencies. One of the situations that we're facing is that we were underrepresented. Blueprint helps individuals, people of color, and women and minorities get more involved in their community. United Way, through Blueprint, allows people to become more educated, to gain knowledge, to gain power. I also believe that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So United Way allows us to be at the table, to make the decisions that impact our community.
My role with the focus area panel is working with the health group. I serve as the vice chair for that committee, and we review the agencies, the specific programs that are benefiting from the United Way funding. We meet with those agencies on an annual basis and review their annual applications. The team is looking to make sure that that agency is meeting the needs, serving the community, and putting the dollars to good use. The strengths of the focus area panel, I think, is first diversity. We have a wide, diverse group of participants in our committee that come from many different areas within the community, so we all bring a different specialty or a special knowledge to that group. And but we all have a united cause. We're all there for the same reason, and I think that really comes together, and we work really well together during these annual reviews. It takes a lot of work to make it happen, but there's a lot of good people making that happen. The reason Customers Bank is so involved with the Ready, Set, Read program is because we understand the need for it. Understanding the importance of making sure that third graders have a proficient reading level by the time that they are finished with the third grade, that we want to make sure that our future leaders of this community are well prepared to do so. And by committing our time and giving back, we're helping to make that happen. The Books for Bikes program that we supported with the Oprah community last year was very important because we understand that there is a summer reading slide, and we wanted to make sure that we did our part to help prevent that from happening again this year and going forward.
My involvement with United Way makes me feel united. We live in the United States of America. I represent United Way of Berks County, and I also represent the Blueprint for Leadership, which is part of United Way. I believe that we need to stay united, because if we're not, we will fall.
The word I choose is proud. I chose proud because I grew up in the city of Reading, and I know how wonderful the city is. I know it's a wonderful place to live and grow up, and I know how wonderful Berks County is as well. I'm very fortunate to have the things that I have in my life. I'm grateful to have this wonderful job and work for this great company, and it makes me very proud to be able to give back to the community, to continue to make this a great place to live and work.
If I had to choose one word, I would say engage. From our volunteers to our staff to the people that are in the many, many different companies that provide funding to us. It's not just about the dollars, it's about the engagement. How do we turn those dollars into meaningful engagement with our partner agencies, with our funded organizations, with the clients that we serve?
I'm very thankful. New Journey is very thankful to have United Way as a friend, to have United Way as a source of support and help and understanding for what we're trying to do, and guidance as well.
If I describe ELU and United Way in one word, I think it would be connected. For me personally, it was a great way to meet new people after moving back to the area, but I also see it connecting people who come from very different backgrounds and who might never meet each other in normal life, coming together and building community together.
The United Way is all about involvement and engagement.
When I think about how United Way makes me feel, I feel blessed.
One word to describe how United Way's work makes me feel is grateful. This year I actually had to utilize United Way services personally because my beautiful daughter Mallory, who is 11 months old, had suffered an in utero stroke when she was born, and she is now working with Easter Seals in their early intervention therapy services. Her occupational and physical therapists are wonderful, and they're teaching her how to use her right hand and arm more. So one word that I would describe United Way right now is grateful.